think we're about ready to start here for this Lowdown on Ridertown. Chad Cooper here with 94.1 KRNA. This is our weekly show to catch up with the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders, our opportunity to get kind of know this team a little more in depth, and we also run down some recent game action as well. We talk about games past, and then we look ahead at least to the next game on the docket, and this is your opportunity week in and week out to learn a little more about the players and the coaches and the people that make up the staff and the organization with the Rough Riders. Another reminder, I like to remind everyone every week that this podcast is up weekly at KRNA.com. We post it a few days, usually after we get done wrapping up this broadcast. It's available both on our website and also on our Facebook page. It's 94.1 KRNA on Facebook. In addition to that, if you have any questions that are on your mind, you can always shoot them to me, Coop at KRNA.com. So if you have anything that is pressing on your mind that you want to ask, that you don't feel like asking in person here, you can always shoot me an email. I've gotten a few emails here and there that I've kind of worked into my questions tonight, so I appreciate the people that have kind of reached out through that method. I'm joined this week by Coach Mark Carlson and also players Hugh McGing and Ross Colton. I thank you guys for coming out tonight and joining us. The Rough Riders currently 34-16, 68 points. We'll run down the recent game action from them. Friday night, a 2-1 win. It's a shootout win over Madison, and then this past Saturday, a 5-0 win over Green Bay. And Coach, I'll start there like we usually do. Your thoughts on this past weekend's action for your team?
Well, thanks, Coop. I thought it was a good weekend for us overall, and tough, kind of a barn burner there on Friday, and great job winning there in the shootout, and a little different game on Saturday, but still just as tough. Was a real battle, and it was great to score 5 goals, and the guys and Benny to get a shutout. So we'll take the 4 points.
And I know that we covered this a few weeks ago. We were talking about shootout wins and this team's propensity to win those types of games. Once again, what's that say about this team that they're able to pull out games when they get tight down the stretch and they go into extra time like that?
Well, I think you can have all the skill in the world, but if you don't have mental toughness, it's going to be real difficult to win those shootouts or in overtime. And so I think our guys, our goaltenders, Larks and Benny, have been real tough. I think our shooters have been real mentally tough, and those have resulted in wins for us.
Hugh, I'll start with you as we cover some of the players here. Whenever we have a player on for the first time, I kind of liked for them to give us a rundown of their background in the game of hockey, but also just their background in life before they wound up here in Cedar Rapids. I wondered if you could take a few moments and kind of share your backstory with us.
Of course. So I started skating when I was 2 years old. I didn't really skate. My brothers kind of just pushed me around the ice. Then I played double-A hockey at Northern Express for a few years. Then I moved up to AAA, played TI for 1 year, CYA for 2 years, and Mission for 2 years, and now I'm here.
So in your case, it was a really kind of a family upbringing that got you into the game of hockey to start with?
Yeah, exactly.
And Ross, I'll move on to you. I wondered if you could kind of give us a background of your time before you came here to Cedar Rapids and also in the game of hockey.
Well, I'm from Robbinsville, New Jersey, and I grew up watching the New Jersey Devils, and no one in my family ever played, so I went to a Devils game and just fell in love with it, and played for the Mercer Chiefs growing up for a couple years. Then I played prep school hockey for Princeton Day School, freshman, sophomore year, and then the Taft School in Connecticut last year, and then I'm here now. So,
what's been your biggest adjustment in coming to the USHL? What did you have to get used to as a player coming into this league?
I think learning to play in all 3 zones, just learning to really play defense, not just cherry pick and try and get breakaways like I used to growing up. You actually got to learn to play the whole game, and I think that's been the toughest thing for me so far.
Coach, is that the first thing you establish when they come out of the team?
We like to be creative. We try to be selective with the cherry picking.
Hugh, I'll ask you, what's your initial impressions when you got to Cedar Rapids and joined the Rough Riders, and not only this team but also the USHL as a league?
I think one of the hardest adjustments are everyone's really fast and really strong, and I'm kind of a smaller guy, so when guys are stronger than you, you just have to be faster than them and be able to work hard, I guess.
Take a moment to cover college commitments. Obviously, many of the players that join the Rough Riders, they have a goal to go on and play college hockey. Hugh, in your case, where have you gone on if you've committed to a college to go on and play?
I've committed to Western Michigan University. I like how they run their organization. I think Andy Murray, the head coach, does a great job, and he's well respected. And I went to visit the campus, and I just loved it.
Was that a place that you'd had on your radar for quite a while? Did you kind of have Western Michigan as a spot, that kind of as a destination that you kind of envisioned playing hockey at?
No, not really. It just came up, and I just fell in love with it.
Ross, I'll go on to you with your college commitment and where you want to go and play your college hockey at.
I'm committed to the University of Vermont, and same thing as you, like he said, just went on a visit and saw a game and just fell in love with the campus and the coaching staff. I think they're well respected and great organization, and I'm looking forward to going there.
Coach, I'll ask you real quick, about just over a week ago, the trade deadline in the USHL, no moves made by the Rough Riders. I wondered if you could kind of briefly explain your reasoning on that and why you chose to keep the team as you have it right now together and not make any additional moves from your standpoint.
Sure. Well, we really like our group, and we think we've got real good depth at all three positions, and goal and at the fence and up front there forward. And I guess to back up a second, we really like the people that we have. We just think we have great people. There's the hockey player, there's the person, there's the combination, and we have great people in the room. These guys really get along. I think every single one of them was outside playing soccer today after practice and weightlifting. They just love to be around each other. We think that's real important. We like the talent that we have on the team as well, and we think our guys are going to keep getting better every single day. And if every guy can keep improving, and with the chemistry we have, we think that formula there is just like adding a 25-goal scorer. So we wanted to stick with our guys. That's what we did, and I'm excited about it.
And I've read in a few articles as well, you've mentioned before that you're not a huge fan or a big proponent of making trades, at least in your philosophy. You don't like to really wheel and deal as far as trades are concerned. I wonder, what's kind of your philosophy behind that mindset and the fact that you really don't want to make a lot of deals as far as on this level of hockey?
Well, I certainly don't like to make them, and as I said in the past, we have made trades, and we will make them in the future, and it's kind of part of the game. But sometimes you make a trade, a player requests it. We had that happen a couple times this year, and sometimes that's the best thing for them, and especially if they have a lot of season left in front of them and they're going to college, that might be something that can help them, and that's fine as long as you do what's best for both parties, and that's certainly what we try to do. I think we've made very few trades over the years out of just sheer necessity, kind of like a pro-style mentality. Most times it's been kind of for both parties, and it's kind of how we look at it.
And kind of piggybacking off of that for a second, I wonder, we look at some of the main goals for an organization like this, and for you as a coach, one would be to develop players, and the other one obviously is to field competitive teams, a team that can compete for championships year in, year out. I wonder what the balance is between, not trying to shake up a team too much, keeping players around this so you can develop them, but also being able to have enough talent on the squad that you think you can compete year in and year out as well.
Sure, and that's the key. That's the key. We, last year at Christmas break, we did make a few deals there. We quite honestly had some guys here that weren't cut out to be here any longer, we didn't think, and we brought some guys in at the break there, and it really got us going in the right direction. We ended up having a real good season, won 35 games, and then had some injuries there at the end that really hurt us in the playoffs. And but I think it's a fine balance, and we're certainly striving to win. These two guys will tell you that. We're trying to win every single day, every single night. We're working at it. We love to win. Our fans want to see a winning team out there, and we believe in trying to be a contender every single year. I certainly don't believe in trying to go for it at all costs one year and then not having a good team the next year. I don't think anybody would want to see that. We want to put a real good team on the ice every single season, and it's something that we take an awful lot of pride in.
And I'll ask her also, start with you, the players that have come on, and from what Coach has said throughout the season, this really seems like a pretty tight nucleus on this team. What's the atmosphere like on the team between you and the other players, the other guys on this squad?
I guess a good word for it would be just the brotherhood, and we come to the rink every day, and there's nothing better than just hanging out with the guys before practice, getting after it for a good hour, and then after, just having a good time in the locker room and laughing about good stuff.
Hugh, how about you? What's the experience been like to be on this team, particular in this season?
I feel like we have a real tight group. I think everybody talks to everybody. We love to play games. We love to work hard. We love to get better. And everyone likes each other.
We'll get back to the questions here in just a moment. I want to take an opportunity. We only have about a week left of this. I covered this on a couple of shows, but we have this Craft Hockeyville that the Rough Riders have posted up at Facebook. It's a chance for you to bring an NHL preseason game to the stable next season. It also gets the stable $150 in upgrades, and you can go to crafthockeyville.com and vote for the Cedar Rapids Ice Arena. If you're interested in that, sounds like a really cool opportunity. The link for that can also be found at the Rough Riders Facebook page. Once again, that is crafthockeyville.com. I'll get back here to the questions real quick. As far as the players, I'll start with you, Hugh. What's your favorite thing to do outside of the game of hockey? We obviously know you guys spend a ton of time in preparation, games, practice, all of that, but how about outside of the game of hockey?
Outside of the game of hockey, I just love to hang with my friends, I guess you can call it. I love being around guys that are funny and make me laugh, and that's about it.
Ross, how about you outside of the game of hockey? What do you enjoy doing?
Love watching Netflix. Really into that. But other than that, I just love hanging out with the guys and having a good time.
Anything in specific that you like to watch on Netflix that comes to mind?
I've gone through quite a few shows with my spare time, but I'm on Friday Night Lights right now, and it's a really good show. I recommend it.
There you go. If anybody has been on the fence about Friday Night Lights, check it out. I'll ask you guys as well about, some of the stuff that you do as far as a day in the life of a hockey player. I always find it interesting. Many of you guys are going to school or have a job on the side in addition to the game of hockey, kind of getting a glimpse at what maybe a day is like on a practice day or a game day for you guys. And Ross, I'll start with you.
I just finished up high school here, graduated early, so right now I just wake up in the morning, grab some breakfast, and then head over to the rink and prepare myself for practice, and then get after it for a little bit, and then get a nice dinner and get to bed early.
Hugh, how about you? What's a day like in your life?
I wake up around 7:30, I guess you could say. Wake up to a nice meal, a nice breakfast. Head over to school, leave at around 12:09, get to the rink a little bit early so I can get on and do my things by myself. After practice, you go home, eat a dinner anywhere from like 5:30 after that, and then get to bed early.
Coach, what do you think about some of these routines? You've heard enough now, probably over the last 3 or 4 weeks, about some of the routines of your players outside of the ice, outside of the rink.
I think they're good routines. I think our guys are fortunate to live with the families that they're with. And for Ross and you, their families here tonight, the Moffats are here tonight, and we've heard a lot of compliments about the meals over the last couple of weeks, so Tanya's doing a great job there. And you asked Ross what he likes, to do, and he brought up Netflix. I think you should ask him about the New Jersey Shore.
Oh, is that one of your favorites, Ross? Is Coach kind of calling you out on that one?
I don't know. I think it's a lot of stereotypes, and guys always joke about it with me, but I didn't really watch the show, to be honest with you, but I've heard a lot of not-so-good things about it.
Yeah, I was going to say, that probably doesn't paint the most accurate picture of New Jersey, does it?
No, it does not.
Well, what I meant, so I wasn't clear on that, but the actual shore itself, I think you should ask him about the actual New Jersey Shore itself, not the show.
No,
I just jumped to the show with the Netflix connection, but how about we talk about the actual physical destination? What's that like as far as the fun times?
It's always a great time down the Jersey Shore, down Long Beach Island it is. It's where me and my buddies go usually all the time down the summer, and we have a good time down there.
Coach, as long as we're on hobbies and whatnot, maybe not necessarily hobbies per se, but we don't really get the opportunity to talk with you during the off season. But I wonder what your schedule is like during the off season when you're not in the heat of a season, so to speak, and how you spend your time both professionally, but also just taking advantage of some of the time you get away, maybe from the game of hockey.
Well, it's usually pretty busy with scouting and putting our team together and those kinds of things. But when I have spare time, I happen to fly into Philadelphia, and I get myself a car and drive over to the New Jersey Shore, Long Beach Island, right where Ross spends a lot of his time, and it is a beautiful spot, I must say. Unfortunately, my mom has a spot there on Long Beach Island, so it's a great place, and love being there, and it's a special spot.
And during the course of a season, do you get much time to follow any NHL action or college action as a coach? Do you, even not maybe necessarily from a professional standpoint, scouting, but just kind of as an entertainment standpoint, just kind of catching up on some pro action or even college action?
Well, I try to follow all of our guys on the internet, our alums, and kind of see how they're doing, and then if there's some games on that I can tape, I'll do that. And then as far as the NHL goes, I have a couple teams that I like, and then there's usually a couple teams that I've watched play, and I think we can learn something from. I can learn something from, and maybe our team can learn something from, and I end up taping a lot of those games and kind of using those with our guys, and as a learning tool for myself as well.
Talking about pro hockey in the NHL, I'll start down on your end, Hugh. Is there a player that you look up to or you kind of try to pattern your game off of, or a team or a player that you like in the NHL specifically?
I love Jonathan Toews. I think he's just a great player all around in all three zones, and he works really hard, and he's the captain of his team, and I think he does a great job.
Ross, I'll also ask you, do you have a favorite NHL player or team that you like to follow?
My favorite player is Zach Parise. He was on the Devils for a while, and then he left them, and I'm a little disappointed about that, but I think he was for the best. So.
And do you guys get much time to catch college hockey or maybe stay up on the pros at all? Ross, I'll start with you.
Every night before I go to bed, I usually watch the highlights on NHL.com of the NHL games, and then on the weekends, usually I'll just scroll through this little app I have for the college scores just to keep updated on that.
Hugh, and I'll go to you too, not only that question, but also as we kind of switch over a little bit, what's your ultimate goal in the game of hockey, or ultimate goal in life, I should even ask?
Well, definitely my goal is to play one day in the NHL, and I do keep up with the Blackhawks. They're my favorite team since I'm from Chicago. And with college hockey, I also have the app that Ross has, and just after our games, I just scroll down and look at every score of every game.
And Ross, is that similar for you as far as a goal? Do you really have the NHL or pro hockey in your sights as well?
Yes, I think that's everyone's goal right now. I think, but just right now, I think it's just getting better every day and working hard and seeing where it takes me.
Coach, you talked quite a bit over your time on the show here about having a chemistry on this team, players kind of buying into the philosophy. I wonder what your process is as far as scouting potential players that you're considering bringing on to this team, into this organization, and how you go about kind of evaluating not only talent but also character when you bring a guy in.
Well, we ask a lot of questions, that's for sure, and we call a lot of people and talk to a lot of people that we trust and respect, and we put an awful lot into when we meet mom and dad and meet the families and also meet the boys, and then we kind of put all of our thoughts together and try and decide if that player is the right person to be here, because it's not for everybody here. It's a great place to be, I believe, but it's also an awful lot of hard work, and I think we're real demanding with what we do here, and discipline. We certainly like to have fun as well, but some guys over the years it just has ended up not being the spot for them, and we can't be right on everybody, but I'll tell you on the character side of this year's team and the work ethic and the talent as well, I feel real good just about this group of 23 that we have, and just great character guys.
And speaking of character and also some perseverance, a player that isn't up on stage here right now, but goaltender Ben Blacker, he was named the USHL Hockey Goaltender of the Week, and he's had some ups and downs this year throughout the season, as any player would, but what's really been the key, or what's that say about him overall with his development to kind of get back and get an honor like that and step his game up like that?
Well, I think I think that Ben's had a tremendous year, and it's a challenging league. It's a very challenging league, as the guys will tell you, and it's not going to be smooth sailing all the time. And we never had any concerns, and I don't know if Ben did, but we never got too involved. They just kind of kept going and had a chance to get back in there and had a tremendous weekend. And no different than you got a break on Friday and gets in there on Saturday, plays real well, scores a big goal, and so just a process throughout the year.
I'd like to ask each of the players, we kind of touched on living with host families, coming here, living kind of in a foreign place as far as away from home, and what's the experience been like for you living with a host family? And Hugh, I'll start on your end.
I think it's great. My Bill family, the Moffats, are definitely very nice, and they make me feel a part of the family. I think that's what you get with every billet family, that billets down here. Everywhere I've been, every billet, mom and dad, and if they have sisters and brothers, have been really nice and kind.
Ross, how about you as far as your experience with your host family?
Well, I also live with the Moffats, and Hugh's been a great billet brother so far too. And but it's been awesome. They make us feel very part of their family, and I feel at home when I'm with them.
Now, not only do you guys have the same host family, but you guys did attend the same high school here in Cedar Rapids, right, Washington? How has that kind of been as a bonding experience for you guys, both being away from Cedar Rapids, not from here originally, but being able to spend a lot of time together between having a host family and also during your high school time? I'll start with you, Ross.
It's been awesome just being able to spend more time with the guys in school and, joke around with them in the hallways when you just see them passing through class time. But other than that, it's been a good experience so far.
Hugh, how about you?
I think it's definitely built a lot of relationships around the high school guys, seeing them in school every day, just joking around on the car rides to and from the rink and to and from school. And the whole school is really supportive of us, and that's very nice.
Now, I'm really proud of my research this afternoon. Dug up a Surveyor article from the Washington High School. Hugh, there's a quote in there that you think you're the best ping pong player on the whole entire team. Just going to call you out right now. Are you still willing to stand behind those words, that statement right there?
Definitely.
Ross, how about you? Is that something is that a title that you've contended for?
I try, but he does have some talent, I will be honest.
Coach, did you know that ping pong was such a heated rivalry outside of the rink like that?
Well, it's actually it's inside the rink. We have a ping pong table right in the locker room, so so the guys play quite a bit. They're into this new hacky sack now, though. That's coming back into play, circa mid-1980s.
Yeah, that's having a resurgence.
Yeah, so the hacky sack is they're into that now, and that's what they've been doing.
You talked about this last week, Coach, but this is maybe the first time since mid-December that you've had a full roster, have not been plagued by the injuries. I wondered, how does that change the dynamic of the way you coach? Do you feel like you kind of have more freedom now? You have more guys to play with and to go with when you go out night in and night out?
Well, I think it does give you some flexibility, and it gives you competition, and I always believe that competition is a great thing for the team. So, so far it's been a real good thing for us, and I think it's going to get even better as we keep moving forward here, as we see our guys continue to improve.
And I'll ask each of the players here, I'll start on your end. Really talented team. What's it like to compete, practice in, and each and every day against the other guys on this squad, and do you think that's really benefited your game?
Yeah, it's definitely benefited my game. I know as a forward, the defense really pushed my game real hard. Everyone is competing really hard to make sure they play on the weekend, and I think that's making everybody on the team get better every day.
Ross, how about you?
I'd have to say the same thing. I think it just brings a different kind of energy to the rink every day because guys know they got to compete for their spot on the weekend and just make practices more intense, and I really like that.
And Ross, you kind of had a unique experience as far as the fact that you've attended 3 high schools in the span of 4 years, I think. How do you adjust to that, and how do you handle those transitions when you have to kind of transition from one school to another, from one town to another?
I think you just got to go in with a positive attitude and not be down on it, and just try and make new friends wherever you go and just make the most of it.
Now, this is a pretty rare opportunity on the schedule as I look at it. Only one game this coming weekend, and you've had about a week span between games here. How do you utilize that as a player, and have you been able to kind of do anything different in your routine? And Ross, I'll start with you.
Coach gave us a day off yesterday, which was really nice, so we had some time to just catch up on some rest, which made the routine a little bit different. But come Friday night, I don't know what I'm going to do. Not getting ready for the game, but we'll have to see.
Hugh, how about you? How have you kind of utilized that kind of down week, so to speak?
Like Ross said, we had a day off Tuesday, so I caught up on some rest that I definitely needed, I think. My routine so far hasn't really changed. I don't think it will change come Saturday.
And Coach, I guess we kind of learned a little something there from the players as far as that they had a day off, but was there any way that differently that you approach this week? This is kind of a rare opportunity where you only have one game during the span of a week.
Well, I think you kind of look for spots during the year, Coop, where you can give the guys a break, and a lot of our guys are not used to the schedule, playing as many games and practicing as hard as we do on a daily basis and lifting weights. And so if you have a week like this week, we skated on Monday, and then gave them yesterday off, and then we still have the 3 practices getting ready for Saturday. So we thought that worked well, and it still gives us the practice time, and we'll be real intense tomorrow and Friday. And other than that, it won't be too much different for us now that we're rolling here midweek.
And I always try to cover this when we have players come on that are in high school or just recently got out of high school. What's it like when you look at the other sports in high school where kids are probably competing in front of a couple hundred kids maybe per night, and you guys are in some pretty big arenas, 1,000 people or more, night in and night out, kind of a pro atmosphere. What's that like to compete on that level? And Hugh, I'll start on your end.
It's just, I don't really know how to explain the feeling when you step onto the ice and you see everybody in the crowd cheering for you. It just gives you an adrenaline rush, and I take it for granted when I go to other sports teams and see their fans aren't as many people as us.
Ross, how about you? Kind of a similar excitement around the atmosphere in which you go into night in and night out?
Yeah, there's no better feeling than skating on the ice in warm-ups and before the game when the music's bumping and the fans are getting loud. There's a couple times where I actually get chills just skating around because it's an awesome experience.
And in the final moments we have here, I'll wrap up with final thoughts. We head into this weekend, one game against Madison. What are you guys' thoughts heading into this weekend on Madison as an opponent, but also just on your overall thoughts headed into one game and one thing to focus on this weekend? And Ross, I'll start with you.
I think Madison's a great team, and I think if we just follow the game plan, I think we'll be fine.
Hugh, how about you?
I think if we just follow the game plan, we can win.
Coach, game plan's the key heading into Madison this week. I know you guys are pretty familiar, just got done playing them last weekend as well.
Yeah, like the guys said, you can tell they're following the plan. So away we go.
Well, best of luck, all the best on facing Madison on Saturday, and thanks for making the time for us tonight, guys. I'm Coach.
No, yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
A reminder that this Saturday, one game, but it's at home. It's another border battle versus Madison. Guns and Hoses Night. All area police and fire department employees and their families are eligible for specially priced tickets. So you can learn more at ridertownusa.com. This podcast will be up here in the next few days. We always try to get it up usually by Friday or Saturday up at krna.com. Thank you all once again for coming out for the Lowdown on Ridertown. Thanks.
Thanks for doing it.